Sup Nerds, and welcome to Powerful, the Power Metal Podcast. My name is Kyle, and I'll be your host today as we go through a very special episode about the Mad with Power Festival. Joining me will be my friend Fernando.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Doing good. You know, this is our annual pilgrimage to the land of the cheese and the beer and the buds. You know, it's such a good time, and I think this was an extra special year because for some fucking reason, you were there.
I was there.
What?
And nobody saw it coming.
Oh man, I got bamboozled. I got fooled. I got the wool pulled over my eyes. I have been misled. I have been played like a goddamn fiddle. You remember at the end of the last episode when I'm like, oh, you know, I'm going to go to the fest and Fernando's going to watch the stream. Yeah, well, nope. Here, I walked into the bar the day before the fest and I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, yeah, where's our friends? Oh, they're at the booth over there. Okay, yeah, there's Fernando. I'm like, wait, there's Fernando. That's not right.
Surprise.
He's not supposed to be there. Yeah, so due to strange universal circumstances, you just kind of ended up teleporting there, which, you know, handy, and we'll take it.
Yeah, it was great. I'm very, very lucky. We have some great friends, and we managed to pull this little thing off. This has been in the plans since right after we came back from Epic Fest back in
so
January.
long.
I got flight tickets at the end of January to get to Madison via Atlanta. A rather long trip, but not the longest trip I've done by a lot. So
I love that you went like twice as far as me, but still only had the same number of like legs to the flight.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works, right? It's just,
Yeah.
Madison is sort of inconvenient from
It's extremely
a lot of
inconvenient.
places.
It's like, unless you're in like the Midwest, it is extremely inconvenient.
We already have to be there. But luckily, Delta has this flight to there from Atlanta. So perfect. Just perfect. I was the first one to arrive to Madison of all our friends there, which it makes it that extra fun, more funny.
Yeah,
extra funnier.
that's hilarious.
But yeah, Kyle had no idea that I was going to show up. He had no idea that I was going to force him to do content for the podcast.
Yeah, like, because you had asked me like a few weeks before, like, oh, do you want to sign up for the media access? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to do content. I just want to see the bands. I want to hang out with my friends. I don't want to do work. And you're like, okay, we'll sleep on it. And then you didn't bug me about it again. So I'm like, okay, I guess we'll just drop it. It's fine. I don't care that much. But then you pulled some Ozymandias shit on me because you had already done it.
I had already gotten, both you and me, media passes, official podcast media passes for the festival.
Our first time with official anything, really, I guess.
Yeah, really. And it's like, yeah, why not? And we had interviewed Ty a couple times in the show before. So I was like, yeah, Ty, can I apply? And he's like, yeah, here's the form. Just fill it up. And they were like, we would love to have the podcast on. And it was great, really. It was a great first experience pretending to be journalists.
Yeah, hey, we were official journalists. We went backstage, sort of. We had media passes. We had a tiny sweaty room. You know, it's exactly as it should have been.
Yeah. You know how it is. Fake it till you make it. We're there.
Still faking it.
Still faking it all the way to the end. No, but it was great. I was trying to get you like in the mood because I knew that you would be annoyed if I made you interview a band without preparing at all. So it was like, hey, how would it feel? You could interview this one or this one. She was like, nah, I just want to enjoy my trip.
Oh, man.
And take it chill.
Man wants to enjoy vacation. What a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's not allowed anymure.
I guess not.
This is the era of content. So
we don't even make money off of this.
No, that's a different conversation. That's a different thing. That's not how the grind works, Kyle.
Apparently not.
But yeah, it was great seeing you have a heart attack.
My mind just like couldn't like wrap itself around, like when we were sitting there at the bar when we first arrived. I'm like, reality was breaking down in front of me. I didn't know what was real anymore. It's like, oh, by the way, you're going to interview Anthem. And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, so as part of the media passes of the actual media accreditation, with Power, the guys set up a schedule for each of the media people to choose bands they would like to interview, like how many interviews they want to do. They had this little room to do it. So I applied us to do a couple easy interviews, which are Fellowship and Glyph. We've had them on the show multiple times before. They are friends of us. So it was like, we're going to try to do an interview in person for the first time. Let's try to do it with people we're already comfortable with. And then also I said, why not? Why shouldn't I put Anthem also in my list pick? Like, I would like to do that. And I was thinking all the time, everyone else is going to also try to interview Anthem. So I put them like a lower priority for us. And maybe we'll get it, maybe not. And it turns out no one else applied to interview Anthem. Just
everyone was
us.
afraid.
I guess everyone was afraid. I don't know. To me, it was like, yeah, obviously everyone's going to get the legendary heavy metal band from Japan that is playing for the first time after 38 years or something in the US. Like, of course, who wouldn't want to do this?
They're probably thinking like, I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah, it was just us. And it was nerve-wracking, but we pulled through, I think. I'm pretty sure.
More or less.
These interviews will show up as separate episodes. They will be on YouTube. You should, especially the Anthem one, they speak Japanese and we use an interpreter. So if it shows up, it will have subtitles. You should watch it on YouTube. And I don't think it makes sense to put it on Spotify or anything like that in just audio form, because only people that understand both Japanese and English will have any chance of understanding what's going on. But that's for later. Finish this episode before finding those.
Let's just talk about the fests. We can deal with the interviews later.
Right. We can talk about the fest itself, because now that you actually like properly covered it, we had a little badges. This is more than just showing up. It's just showing up and just doing the travel vlogs. We just made Kyle's travel vlogs a bit more official now. And you know, who
as
knows?
Opposed to me just rambling for an hour.
We're gonna ramble for an hour now, but we had like the badge to make it special. Now we keep them. We keep those. It's like awesome. We have this little Mad with Power media access lanyard, which is really
I think
cool.
It's nicer than just like the VIP one, because it's like, oh, I didn't just pay for this. I earned this one.
Yeah.
I guess.
So yeah. We actually met one day before the fest in Madison. It was on way earlier, right? In Thursday or Wednesday?
It was 2 days
before. 2 days before.
We got it on Wednesday.
Yeah, that whole week is a bit of a blur for me, because we were doing so much in so little time. It's a long, as in my mind, it's just one long day. I think I was constantly saying stuff for like tomorrow that would happen that evening, because time didn't make sense. But yeah, we met on Wednesday there. We had some fun in Madison. We did some touristing, just a little bit. It's very nice. It's a very nice place. Central.
Yeah, I like Madison
US,
every time we get out there.
Or North US. I don't even know what's the appropriate cultural region to call it.
Call it the Midwest.
The Midwest.
It's not in the middle or the West,
yeah,
really,
that's
but
that's the confusing part.
There are stupid historical reasons for why it's called that, so we just deal with it.
The Midwest, it was nice to visit, just incredibly humid and warm. But the venue,
if it wasn't so humid, I would like it a lot better. But
yeah, the humidity really was the most annoying thing. And then we karaoke with our friends, which now is something that we did back at Epic Fest, and we really
we skipped the pre-party at the Aftershock arcade to hit the karaoke at a random like Vietnamese noodle place, which is pretty tasty, pretty fun karaoke. I wish I'd been able to do that and the pre-party because they were also shooting Lords of the Trident's like music video there, and that would be cool. But the biggest problem with this fest for me is just, I never have enough time. Somehow there's too many things I want to do, too many people I want to talk to, and it goes so fast every time.
We just have too many friends.
Yeah, this is literally like the only time in my life where I've had that problem is when I go to like these festivals like Mad with Power. It's like I got too many friends there. Is this what normal people are like? Like, wow.
I think they deal with this? I think we are way over normal people by now, because the concentration of friends at Mad with Power was just insane.
And it's people you don't see in person outside of like these special occasions, like once or twice a year, maybe.
Yeah, I met several of our good friends for the first time in person there. Many that are from other parts of the US that I haven't visited, or that they didn't come to Europe last time. And it was great. And then I met some of your friends from other festivals, the festival people.
Yeah, my random festival buddies.
Yeah, and it's a lot of nice people, but we're just like running from here to there. We have 15 minutes here, 2 hours here. Go. What should I skip? What you have to prioritize in a way. So we both missed the pre-show. We are not on the Lord's video because friends won that priority. Yeah. We had a great time at karaoke, by the way. It's so much fun every time. I love it.
I think one of my favorite things that we did on the karaoke this time was when American Pie came up. We all agreed to sing
Glorious.
The Song That Begins by Weird Al instead.
Glorious.
Because we just knew the lyrics.
We just knew the full lyrics to that, not the original. And
because I don't know the original song.
Yeah, exactly. We all know this. Let's just sing over it. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Truly glorious.
That's when you know you have the right group of friends. When we all agree spontaneously on this super niche thing. Like, weird tangent, but did you know that song came out right before the movie and it was only based on rumors?
No, I mean, I would have been like 2 years older when this came out or something.
Fuck, you're not that. Oh, you are that young.
When did American Pie come out?
Not American Pie, the weird old one. The Saga Begins.
Well, I mean, that was also 1999.
It was 99, yeah.
So I would have been like 3 or 4 years old, depending on the date.
Well, but the story, the song came out before, like a week before, I think, the release of the movie, of The Phantom Menace. And all the lyrics are based on rumors. And it's bang on for the whole movie. So
wait, they didn't know that they were right about everything?
It's what people suspected. But there was no official confirmation till the actual movie came out. But it was released just earlier, so it's like a big spoiler, but it was entirely based on all the known rumors.
Huh. The Nerds of 1999.
Yeah. It's funny. That was the end of the weird old tangent. Hope we have more in the show.
Love weird tangents.
Yeah, I love weird old. Then on first day we had a nice day. Also on Madison, we went to a lake.
You went hiking.
I went hiking.
You spent the morning hiking.
And
this is a horrible idea.
And you didn't.
For a fucking festival day.
And you stayed sleeping.
Yeah, I was cozy in bed, and then I went and got some brunch.
Absolutely,
I got some beer.
Weak.
No, it was great.
We bought beer for you. We had so much leftover beer.
We drank it later.
Yeah, I know.
Nah.
You guys drank it later, but it was like, yeah, we're counting on you and the other guys.
We never once agreed to the rescheduled date. You guys just assumed that we would go. No, it's a festival day. I can't blow all my energy in the morning.
Yeah, so we had to change what morning we were going because there was a storm forecasted for the day before. So instead of being on the morning of the first day with nothing afterwards, then we had it on Friday morning right before the fest. And the thing, as media people, we had to go at 2 p.m. to get our badges. or 2:30 or something like that. So
Well, it was 2 p.m. for the standard pickup and then 2:30 for the media
us.
stuff. So I just combined it.
Yeah, and that meant that I was rushing the hike, and it was a really long hike, and I sprained my ankle in the most stupid way at the end of the whole hike after going up 2 mountains. It was like 200 meters. That's not a lot, but for me it's a lot. And getting back to the start where our friends were, crossing a parking lot, there was little steps, and I stepped wrong on one, and I sprained my ankle to the side like an idiot.
Wait, you didn't even sprain your ankle on the hike? It was just in the parking lot?
Just in the parking lot.
Wow.
At the end. Super lame.
You should have just lied about that.
I should have a better story, but it's so stupid. It's like, God. I was just talking to one of our friends that was with me, and it was like, I got that little bit too confident at the end and just misstepped on one of the steps, and it was like, nah, fuck me.
It's like our friend who like fell on the ice on the way to the first show of Epic Fest.
Yeah, kind of like that. His was like more hubris, full hubris, but for me it was like just being stupid. And then we just rushed it, but got in time. We met Mar, who did the whole media coordination for My With Power. Explained us where we could go, what photo access we had, showed us the interview room, which is very, very small. Not ideal, but whatever is what the venue had available. So we
made it work.
It's better than nothing.
Definitely.
So, and then it was just getting ready for the actual show, which the festival started at 4 on Friday. And we just got there, and we can now actually review it. This is...
Well, sort of.
Shut up.
Because, Mad with Power, I usually try to see every band because like it's well paced. They have a dinner break. You don't need to miss anything, except for one of our interviews ended up overlapping with the first band.
Yeah.
So to Oak, Ash, and Thorn being the one band I missed at this festival, I apologize. People said you were cool, and I wanted to see you.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Also, Oak, Ash, and Thorn, we had to miss you due to the trying to do interviews. Like,
yeah, that was the interview with Fellowship, I think, was that overlapped with. So it's like, well, shit, we kind of got to do this.
Yeah. And you can see that interview probably somewhere on YouTube. Find it. Go
soon.
Soon. It should be there. If it's not there, just wait for a bit and it will show up. But listen to all this episode in full first. So we missed, sadly, Oak, Ash, and Thorn. I'm sure you guys were great. But we did see the next band, Dialith.
Yes, I was really excited for Dialith.
Me too.
Like, their music is great.
And
I think this is their third live show ever. They don't normally do this stuff. But hey, we got them out there. Our symphonic metal band from Connecticut, I believe. And for as excited as I was about this, I think their lack of live show experience kind of showed through, as they seemed nervous.
Yeah. So
happy to be there.
Dialith,
and put on a solid show, but yeah, definitely inexperienced.
Yeah, like I also really like Dialith music. I like their album. I should know the name. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but you know the one I'm talking about, with the pretty art. I actually
pretty art.
I like their brand of music. I like the style. But we could tell bit green on the live part. They didn't feel the whole stage. Their presence
I think
was
a
not
lot of
large
bands
enough.
On Mad with Power, because it's going to be probably the biggest stage they ever play if they're just like a very regional thing, not doing like 1,000 people festival. They don't always know what to do with all the space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that, plus I think having some tech issues and running into the usual symphonic band problem of a large part of their sound being the like orchestrations and stuff they can't actually play live.
Yeah.
That's just on the backing track. It does, I think, make a little bit of a disconnect with the full live performance. But if they keep doing stuff, I'm sure they'll get over those nerves and be fine.
Yeah, they'll get there. They just need to keep going at it. They were in a good spot. That, like, it makes sense. They were starting the fest. They were the second band. Just gotta work a bit more on that, because like on the studio side, it's all great. Just gotta really, really put now all the work into being very extra. You actually need to be a very larger than life, presence on stage, and especially on this kind of stage that was so huge.
Yeah, I really liked their set list selection. I think they picked pretty much the whole new EP, and then basically like the hits or the best songs from their previous EP and their first album. So I was very happy with their song selection. So good for them on that.
Yeah, it was a nice. The show had the correct flow of music, but yeah, it was just like we could tell that the stage was a bit large for them at this point in their career. I just gotta grow into it. That's the thing. We're looking at this positively, like, here's the path to go. There's room to grow. Go for it. Don't skip Dialith if they happen to play near you. It's still a good show. And especially if it's a smaller place, it will probably feel better.
Yeah, it'll be a very different vibe if you saw them at a smaller show, not like a festival thing. Although I think they're like only other shows that have been at festivals. But yeah, whatever. Right.
That is good. Next band.
That brings us into Owlbear, which this was one I was really looking forward to. We were going to miss it until the Glyph interview got rescheduled. And thank God that got rescheduled, because this ended up being one of my favorite shows of the whole festival. This was fantastic. Definitely.
Like, it was really great. This is like the complete opposite of what we were just saying.
It's also their second show ever.
Also,
somehow
because
they have like experience from other bands, I think, that really
like
made this excellent.
Owlbear is basically a super group. I think each of the members have a lot of prior experience in other bands, and you could tell they were like crushing it in all aspects, in music, performance, visuals, the way they were dressed, they were interacting with each other on stage, moving around. There was also a lot of people that always helps. And everyone's presence was just great, and the vibes were awesome. They had the whole of the audience. They just had them in the palm of their hands, just carrying them along for the show. It was really, really, really good.
So Owlbear are a traditional metal band, I guess is what you'd probably lean it into genre-wise, from the internet, as they are not from any one particular place. I think their first ever show was the, I want to say, Legions of Metal Festival in Chicago earlier this year. So I talked to some people from Chicago and we were like, yeah, I'm 2 for 2 on seeing Owlbear shows. And so good for them. Their singer, Katie Scary, I've actually been following for a few years now. She does covers on YouTube and whatnot that are pretty fun. So I was really stoked to get to see her perform live here too. And probably like the most like talkative and like best banter in between songs, I would say.
Yeah.
The jokes were landing, the charisma was working, and really, like you said, she had the crowd in the palm of her hand there.
100%. She had the best banter, period, of anyone. And it was like, the show was not just a bunch of songs. It was one solid show from start to finish, one solid thing going through. Really, really great. Really great. The music is great, and the way they played it and they performed, absolutely great. Loved it.
Yeah, definitely the dark horse like runaway hit of the festival for me, I think.
Yeah.
So thank God for Glyph and their not proper scheduling.
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, go. That's one of those little accidents that are like, yeah, this works for both of us. We're all more than happy now. Because we were looking forward for Owlbear. I was like, just from everyone saying how excited they were about them, because I didn't actually know them before. But yeah.
Did you not listen to their album from last year?
I didn't listen to anything. It was my first time was listening to them live. which I think I've mentioned a couple of times in the show. I really like that. I enjoy very much knowing a band for the first time with their live shows. I don't do a lot of preparing. Like I know a lot of people, including some of our friends, that they are like, give me the playlist of what I should listen to before going to this band for the first time. I don't like doing that. I like to have my first impression be their live show. I come from a place where we really value that. Like for me, bands are live first and studio second. So it was really great.
And it's great that they can win you over both ways.
Yeah. Exactly. Then if we do what they do, what Ty does, the next band is one of the greatest bands.
It's the greatest band in the history of all festivals.
The dinner break.
Let's go.
So
no picking the boring prog band to go and dip out and get dinner during. No, sirree. We got to do dinner a whole dedicated hour. I love it so much. Thank God that they do this.
It's really consumer friendly. It's really great that the festival can do this, because honestly, it's just consumer friendly. It's great for the audience. They don't have to choose who to skip. There's no band that gets to be the unlucky band where people are just leaving to have some food because they don't. Otherwise, you're there from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. or midnight, which is a long time. So just getting everyone, this is the moment where no one is playing and you can go have your dinner or take a break, whatever. Absolutely amazing that this festival can do that. I took the chance to go and prepare for. So since we have the media access, and if you're watching on YouTube, you might have noticed we have a lot of photos. I had photo access, so I took a lot of photos of the shows that I saw. So I had to go back, charge batteries, because I was not prepared for this properly. With only 2 batteries and 1 camera, that's not enough for covering a whole festival. So I was just going back and forth, changing lenses, stuff for the interviews. It's not the same as stuff for the photos. Just running around a lot. But also, like in general, for the people, they can just chat around. Some of the band members, like in other festivals that we talked about, they are just there with the audience, and you can just chat with them if they are friendly enough, which I think all of them were this time. Like it was great catching up. Just a lot of people saying, "Yeah, I caught up with the Fellowship guys, and they are great people." Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, I think it was like the day after this, where during one of the bands, during the dinner break or something, like I just saw like the guys from Fellowship like playing Halo with the crowd, and it's like, what other festival can you go and just play Halo with the headliners?
Exactly.
Like, nothing. That's part of what makes this festival so great, is having the vibes, the just hanging out with people, and just the consumer friendly things of we got the video games, you got the dinner break. It's all lovely.
Yeah, it's incredible. Honestly, incredible. After this dinner break, we had the band Starkill.
Yeah, Starkill is melodic death metal from Chicago area. So I think you didn't catch the show, right? Because you were doing camera stuff.
I did not catch this show, sadly, because I have more. I only have 2 batteries for the camera, but then I had stuff for the phone, the gimbal. I have the microphones. Right now, I have more batteries than chargers, and the chargers were not fast enough. So I sadly had to skip them. I only caught like the very end of their show when I came back in.
All right, I caught most of their show at least, though. And so they, I think, put on a really great performance. They had tons of energy. They have a couple of singers that they can do both harsh and clean male and female vocals, so there's a good variety there. The problem is, despite like the great performance, all the energy they're putting out, the mixing during their set for the sound was god awful. Now, I'm not like the biggest stickler for like live mixing and production. Like, as long as it's like I can hear things, I'll say it's good enough. This show, I don't think there was a single like individual element that I could like hear properly. And I made a point of like moving over to the sound booth to see if like, okay, is it where I'm standing? Is that the problem? And no, it was just fucked. Like, I like, you could ask me, was their music good? And I could honestly say I do not know. because the mix in the venue was so bad for this show specifically. Like the other shows were mostly fine. I thought I think it sounds different if you're standing upstairs versus downstairs, whatever. But for them, it was like extra bad. So I saw some people say that on the stream it was fine, so at least that was good. But this was one where I was just kind of like enjoying the showmanship and not the music, because I literally could not understand what the music was for like the vast majority of the show, which was sad. Although the end of the show I thought was cool, because they do like a death metal cover of The Pretender by the Foo Fighters, and they even do like a wall of death to it, which saying that you did a wall of death to the Foo Fighters is really funny. So I made sure to jump in there for that.
Nice. But what a shame that it was, because the previous bands, most of the bands, which is the ones that I saw, they sounded really good on the venue. Not so great on the stream, but we'll talk about that later. On the venue, most of them sound really good, and I think when there were issues, it mostly, not like actual technical issues, but like when it wasn't perfect, I think it was more an indication of the band preparedness, because some of these bands are smaller than others, some have way more experience, and I think some of that came down to the differences in experience. But I missed Starkill, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I'd seen some speculation like, because the venue, the Sylvie, doesn't really do like a ton of metal shows. Maybe the people that aren't as like experienced with mixing for it, and like maybe that's part of it, because I remember we kind of like complained about some of the mixing at the show last year. But like most of the bands I think are good, fine to good enough for my like not very refined standards. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, well that sucks, but the cover sounds cool, and I guess we can check. I don't know how this works. I should have looked this up. But that the show was streamed, and I think if you are on the Lords of the Trident Patreon, you can see the recordings. Otherwise, for general audience, I think along the year they will release some songs from some of the bands. I think that's how they do it. Kind of like how
it's usually how they do it. They don't have the full VOD available, I think, because they want it to be like a perk or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I could be remembering wrong, but I think that's how it works.
But well, anyways, there was the next band, another band that I'm surprised that I've now seen twice.
This is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
So the next band is Oceans of Slumber, and this is the one band that has played at both of the American metal festivals that you have gone to.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is that causes that coincidence.
It is the weirdest
it's amazing.
Thing. It's the weirdest thing.
When we kind of don't really much care for Oceans of Slumber's music, and yet they are the one constant that the ones you've bothered to go
It's
to.
incredible, because we saw them at Perk Power 2018, which was forever ago.
6 years ago? No, it's been like 20 years since then, man.
Yeah. And it's like, wow, that's interesting. This time I actually was awake for it.
So I think we call them like Oceans of Nap Time. Like, their name is so appropriate. They're so sleepy.
This is kind of like where the dinner break thing enters, because like at that Rock Power, honestly, when that show came up, I was so tired, and the chairs were so comfortable, and the music that Oceans of Slumber does is so chill. Like,
it's not power metal. It's like this. Like,
it's ambient,
moody,
dark ambient
proggy,
stuff.
Death
Death ambient, and it was like, I'm gone. Sorry.
A friend of ours who like apparently claims to love Oceans of Slumber was saying that like they cut out the like more exciting death metal parts of their songs at their live shows, which I don't know if I believe it because that sounds fucking insane. But
yeah, like
okay.
I think I mentioned a couple of times this, like it's not that I don't like their music. It's not that I find it boring or anything.
Their singer's really good.
They are great performers. For me personally, the live setting of a festival like this is not the appropriate setting for this kind of music. Because
it gives you a break from like the fast-paced like power metal stuff, I guess.
Yeah, but it's like
which can be nice, but I don't really need it. It's fine. I use this as my break to go play video games. Like grabbed a friend of ours and we were playing Metal Slug. We're playing Time Crisis. You know, just like some of my favorites from like arcades back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They had a light gun set up for Time Crisis on like a CRT TV. It was great.
Oh man, that's sweet. So one of the things that I missed was all the arcade stuff because I was just trying to take photos of the bands, and I didn't step into that area at all.
Did you even go upstairs?
I went upstairs to take photos, but I didn't go into the back to the actual alley where all the games were. I just went through the behind the seats. There was a walkway. That's what I used.
Yeah.
So anyways, I did technically see Oceans of Slumber. I took some photos. I was listening. It's not the same to listen to the one from the photo pit right up there because you're just being blasted by the front feed instead of like listening to the full thing.
Right.
Obviously, I was using my earplugs. But as I expected, they sound really good. Like performance-wise, they are really good. If you like the kind of music, go definitely check them out. If you like ambient stuff, if you know them and you've never seen them live, for me it doesn't work because I am very particular about setting matching music. But maybe for you it works. Our friends that are fans of this band love the set, absolutely loved it. So
yeah,
it works.
Like I've seen people say like, "Oh man, I love their set. I love their live show so much." I am so happy for those people.
Yeah. Exactly. And they put a lot of effort. They have the vocalist had this beautiful dress and headpiece. The fashion, the style that they use, it's really great. And it matches what they are doing. The bass player had great energy, the guitar player as well. They were all it's a really solid show. So yeah. Oceans of Slumber is good. Don't think that I don't think that. It's just that I rather listen at home than at a live setting. That's it.
All right, now we'll take it up from the moodiness to pure bliss and happiness with Fellowship. So we had a phenomenal time seeing them in Epic Fest, and now I'm even more stoked to see their first show in the US, my home turf at the festival that I think is, the perfect fit for them. And I gotta say, during this show, I don't think I've ever seen so many grown men like crying and hugging each other because it was just so beautiful. It was so happy, so much camaraderie. You truly feel like a fellowship when you're seeing this Fellowship show. It's like it's incredible how happy it gets people. I love it so much. It
really is. It really works wonders live. Like if you listen to Fellowship to the album, it's all happiness. It's all like powerful. If you get into it, it's like really powerful stuff. Really positively emotional. But when you get it live and you participate in it, you sing along, you are with everyone else sharing it, it's really something else. It's really worth it.
The videos of it don't capture the energy that it is existing within the crowd there. Because I've gone back and I've watched the stream stuff or videos that people have taken, and it's not the same
as when
you're there and you're grabbing your buddies and you're headbanging and you're singing every goddamn word and everyone's been worthy, and it's really incredible.
It's really incredible.
I loved it so much.
The guys really pull it off. This is something that I'm usually a bit wary with power metal bands. This is a pristine album. This is one of the bands that obviously I first listened to the album a lot. And then when you translate that to the live show, maybe it's not that polished. But these guys actually delivered and more. I really like the live Fellowship set. They are just, they have one guitar, bass, drums, vocalist, and nothing else. They have some tracks for the orchestra, whatever. Doesn't matter. The track could die. It actually was off for the start.
Yeah, for how
And it
much of
doesn't
their
matter.
sound on the album like has like the twinkles in the orchestras and having in multiple guitars, like they get away with not leaning on it
And I
in the
think
live show.
that is a sign of greatness for me, for a band, because the important stuff to make the songs work is enough. It's the stuff that they can actually play live with just the 4 dudes
Yeah.
and nothing else. And it works. Like the very essentials are there and they are what you need. If the tracks were dead, the show would still be great.
I love all the energy that Brad and Ed have when there's so much twirling.
It's
on the
amazing.
stage.
It's
The twirls with the capes.
pure
It sells
happiness.
the happiness so much, and like Brad has all this energy. He's always got the big old smile on his face as he's going around. Like, and I'm sure he's having the time of his life up there. It's phenomenal.
If he's not, we are for sure. Just seeing it.
Definitely.
Because like I have every photo of Ed is like pure fun and happiness, and he's jumping a lot around. Brad is just killing it on guitar. Like the stuff he's playing it's not easy, and he's still going around. Like this reminds me of like seeing videos of Dragon Force back in the day when they had the little trampolines on the stage just jumping around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of vibe, which is just pure bliss everywhere. This is not the aggressive kind of metal. This is we are feeling emotions. They are really loud, and we're gonna play them out that loud.
Yeah, I've seen some people say like, oh, when like with live, like, oh, Matt is like singing it like a step lower or something like that. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up,
it doesn't
you goddamn
matter.
nerd.
It doesn't matter. It really does not matter.
The point.
If you have absolute perfect hearing and you can tell the note, okay, cool. The song sounds great. So it doesn't matter. And
it's not like you're hearing the specific notes when you got the 20 dudes around you are all shouting at the top of their goddamn lungs.
You're hearing the song.
Say like, oh, the scars and shrapnel wounds and all the fucking bullshit. And it's like, oh my God, I love it.
Because what really matters is that the song sounds great. And the way they play the songs, they sound great. It's not like they went down so much that the voice doesn't have power or isn't in the same region, so it doesn't have the same texture. It absolutely 100% works. I wouldn't have known that they were tuned down if I hadn't read it on some internet dude saying it.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not checking it. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
And I love the songs.
Doesn't change the way you feel in the moment.
Exactly. That's what matters. And really, Matt gave another great performance.
Even if he did call it Michigan at one point.
That was hilarious.
Which was very funny.
Hilarious. I love it. It's just it's a kind of thing that I love when bands misname the place. I love it. I love it.
Michigan's sort of close. It's like a state or two over. It's fine.
It's in the US.
Sounds similar.
That's all that matters. It's all the same. This show, like, honestly, this set was great. And we got 3 new songs.
Yeah, because they had just announced the new album that morning. And we're like, oh, hell yeah, they're going to be playing new songs. And 3 is a lot.
It's a lot.
Be like 1.
And I love it because that's the thing. They were headlining. So they had a almost limitless set. No one was playing after them. So they started at like, 11 something. And the 10:35 p.m. And they could just go until, I don't know, until the city comes and shuts down the place. And so
it's like an hour and a half show.
When we saw them at Epic Fest, it was in the smaller venue, in the smaller stage. It was a regular slot on a festival. So it was 40 minutes, 35 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
So we just got there. It was awesome. But this one was like, now we can spread. Now we're going to play a bunch of songs that you guys love. We're going to play 3 new songs that are awesome.
Yeah, like during one of the new songs, Buddy came up to me and shouted in my ear like, oh, I don't think we have to worry about a sophomore slump. And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Not at all. Like, this is incredible. Like, we talked with Matt and with Cal about it a bit. I spoke with them about the new album back at Epic Fest. Just the vibes, right? It's very like they are doing the correct thing for me, which is we understand the style that we formed in the first album. Now we're gonna take that and we're gonna push it a bit into just slightly new directions in some aspects and keeping some the same. And they really keep the balance correct. It's new Fellowship, it's fresh, but it's still clearly Fellowship. And I'm sure people are gonna love it. If you liked the first album, at least these 3 new songs, awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that they said like, "Oh, this is going to be some like darker elements in this," but it at least in those 3 songs does not come through at all.
There was one moment in one of the songs that is like gets just a little bit darker. Like there's a minor thing going on that's like, and one of our friends was like, "Oh, what the fuck was that? That is that allowed?" But it was just enough, just a little bit. But it's really still happy and bubbly and everything.
It becomes like a dance song for like 10 seconds at like the end of the solos in one of them.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because it's not obnoxious. It's not the obnoxious dance song. This is honestly 2 of the songs were full anime vibes, full anime opening. I could see the titles going through and the girl running with this toast in her mouth. Like
and like the guy standing on the cliff looking over and then the camera swooping around.
Exactly. Like you could chop it off, and this is the TV size of the song for the opening.
I think there is a bit of a struggle with playing brand new songs at a live show, in that the crowd doesn't really know how to respond to them. They don't have the attachment to it yet. They're just kind of taking it in. So I think at times it seems like the crowd is a little less active during that, because also they can't sing to it, which on one hand is nice because it saves your voice for a little bit. Because I was after belting multiple songs in a row, it's like, okay, give me a break. But on the other hand, it's like it's a little, I think, almost less exciting to have these new songs. Because it's like you just want to take in, you just want to listen to it. You have
to latch on to the chorus and just shout vowels. That's all you need. Yeah,
just like
yeah, which is what I was doing from the photo pit. Very professional.
The last new song they played about like hold up your heart again, because they had a lot of hearts going on with their music. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, you might say, but it let the crowd kind of latch on to just like holding up like an actual like heart with symbol with their hands, which was very cute.
It was so cute
and made for a great picture.
It was so lovely, because everyone was like, "Yeah, it's definitely joining in these schmaltz. Yeah, we can do this. We deserve it. We deserve to be happy."
When we were at Epic Fest, so it was in a really small venue. We're all packed in there. It's like at fire hazard levels of capacity. So this was a little bit different vibes because we have a bit more room to spread out. And me not being at the very front, I wasn't getting like blasted by people shouting about their worthiness, but it gave us a little more room to like, I think, interact with the people around us, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like during like Glint or whatever, we had like this like massive circle of people just like hugging each other as we like are trying to sing the song. It is beautiful.
Beautiful. This is what should happen with music to people all the time.
This is what live music's about.
Yeah, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're actually striving for. We don't care about like technical perfection. Technical proficiency just has to enable feelings to be conveyed in the best way possible. And this is what we got at this set. We got feelings conveyed and shared by everyone from the stage, through the people, to each other. And it was
interesting.
Awesome.
To comparing this like night one headliner with the night one headliner of last year, because it was Seven Spires last year, and that also has lots of big emotions.
Yeah.
But kind of in like a depressing way.
Yeah, it's the other big emotions.
This was big emotions in the most happy way possible.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just swing it back around.
Yeah, which is, I think, is really important. I like the idea.
Yeah.
We all know like the traditional idea of metal was rooted in expressing your aggressiveness, which is important. It makes sense. And then it was like, we are just
aggressively happy now.
Yeah, then it progresses to expressing your emotions in a loud, aggressive way, because that's just how you see the world or how you interact with it. But now with power metal, I think a lot of people have known this, but as a negative, but I think it's a big positive. And now more people are taking it as a positive. Power metal is big, loud emotions like the theater kids have. And we express them. And those big, loud, very loud emotions can be the happy ones as well. Can be the positive ones. Can be the wholesome ones. Can be the light in the dark that is the rest of existence. And we need that. And everyone should embrace it when they find it.
And that's what the Fellowship show is about.
That's what the Fellowship show is about. What a good show. Absolutely great. I am so happy that I got to see them twice so close together.
Yeah,
this is insane. This should not be happening. But I've seen them twice this year.
Yeah, I think they're about to do a few more shows in the UK. So to all like 5 of our British listeners, get your bloody self over to a fucking Fellowship show.
You should, definitely. Even if it's a small ass pub wherever the bumfuck nowhere, go. It's worth it. Go.
You are worthy. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, you always have been.
You'll understand it when you actually say it back with the rest of the crowd. Exactly. That's when it hits you. You think it hit you when you are listening to a song, but no.
I've seen some people say that like, oh, the always been worthy part of Glint like in the studio is fucking stupid. I'm like, no, it's the point.
It's the point. The song. It's the most important thing.
It's iconic.
You have to feel it. You will feel it if you go and participate in the show.
When you're there with hundreds of other people or dozens, whatever you got.
And it's yours. It's your thing. So do it. It's worth it. Actually, seriously, just if you like the band at all, find the nearest show, get there. If you think, oh, it's a bit inconvenient or it's going to take me long, reevaluate that. You want to see this band.
Yes.
It's worth it. If you don't know what we're talking about and you're still listening, go check out Fellowship now. Seriously, at least give it a try because it's great. And they are lovely people. And we want the best for them. We want them to keep succeeding and keep growing into one. I want to be 10 years from now looking back at our little interviews with them and seeing, yeah, I remember when they were small. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I love that they closed it out with their cover of Can't Kill a Love Tonight.
That was great. That was a great
fun little
moment.
Bonus.
Yeah, because for anyone doesn't know for some reason, the first thing they uploaded was to YouTube was a video clip of them playing Can You Feel the Love Tonight in a power metal version. It's like just the cover of the song. It's pretty straightforward. But having them played now at the end of this headliner show is like a very nice, remember when we just did this? And people
I don't think
liked
they played
it
live before. I think this was the
I
first
think
one
it was
done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the first time as well. Very, very nice to have been able to witness that. Those are great live show moments. Very, very nice. But we've rambled about Fellowship a lot.
Yes. That's enough of that.
Yeah, and there's more.
After the show, we're hitting the hotel. We're hanging out in the party area. Everyone's just giving you free beer. You got some snacks. Good vibes there. I think the after party didn't go as late this time because the hotel kicked us out. But kept us going to bed at a quote unquote reasonable time. Yeah,
it was like 2 a.m. that they kicked us out.
Something like that.
And it's not that they kicked us out. Like clearly there was one of the guys was like talking with the staff, and he was at one point he was like, "Okay, guys, let's keep it chill, and at 2 a.m. we split and clean everything," which is the best way to go around it instead of like pushing it till you get actually kicked out.
Yeah, because we are nice, respectful people in the power metal community.
Yeah. We were this happens just at the hotel lobby, so it's not like a place to be actually rowdy. It was nice. We talked with a lot of people. I met some of your buddies from other festivals. It was nice. I met got to talk with some of our other friends from other parts of the US that I hadn't met before. Really, really cool vibes. Very chill.
That's
honestly.
what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, right? It's like these festivals are like, it's like a little like a little special club, and these people get to meet on these moments during the year, and it's very nice.
I call these my binge socialization because it's like, okay, most of the year I'm just hanging out in my fucking gamer goblin cave, but here it's like, okay, I'm gonna talk to a gazillion people and stay up super late, and it's gonna be its own different thing.
The hermit comes out and suddenly has 1,000 friends, and then back to hermit.
It's weird. Although it was, I guess we might mention this later, but like with Prague Park right around the corner, it's always just like, oh man, when the festival's over, well, we're gonna see half these people in a month anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, they're very close together.
It's a nice having that like consolation. Well, maybe not consolation prize, but just like it makes it feel better, even because it goes so fast. But you know, there's still more to come. And speaking of more to come, we got day 2 of the festival.
Day 2.
Which we kicked off by interviewing Glyph, which was really fun. Yeah,
we got to interview them before the show started, so that's one less band that we were going to miss. Awesome. Also want to say to Mark with Power and Mar specifically, they had this very cool, like, this festival is not just consumer friendly, but also media friendly, because the way they were setting up the schedule for interviews, you chose what bands you wanted to interview, but also you wrote down what times you were not available for interviews because you didn't want to miss someone's set, because they know that we are fans as well, which I love. I don't know if anyone else does this. I don't know if this is actually common, but I loved it because I could say, oh, I'm not going to miss Fellowship and I'm not going to miss Anthem for sure. So don't put anyone at 10 p.m. for me.
No.
I didn't want to miss Glyph either. So also that, and I was like, yeah, and they sorted it out with everyone's choices in mind. Obviously, probably some things cannot be fulfilled because you're still trying to cram all these interviews with different media people. But just the fact that they take it into account, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. That was fun. Our interview, which you will find somewhere on YouTube, search it, or you can listen to the old ones, whatever you want to do. We interviewed Glyph before, but this interview is more interesting than the other ones. What was the first band?
First band was Celestial Wizard, which is melodic death metal from Denver, Colorado.
That's interesting. I sadly missed them.
First bands are just catching all the strays.
I am so sorry. But honestly, with the interviews and everything, and again, not being that prepared and having to offload the data, the cameras, load the batteries again, charge the batteries again. I was just running a bit thin by now and meeting with different people, not just for the fest people, not just the band people, but also a lot of our friends. Like I tried to catch up with like 35 people in 4 days.
Yeah.
So,
and go to a festival and do work.
Yeah. So I am sorry. Again, sorry, Celestial Wizard. But we had the stream on at the Airbnb, at least. So
yeah, I was there for the first half of their show. So I got to watch some of it. I thought they were doing a great job. My favorite part of it was one of their guitarists had Heelys, and I saw him Heely across the stage, and I thought that was the coolest stage move I've ever seen.
Amazing.
Even like later amazing. In the festival, like I watched him like come out of the like backstage area, and he like Heeled across by the pinball stuff. I'm like, oh, this guy's so cool. So yeah, their music and show was cool too, but the Heelys, that's the move, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
So we did get cut short on that though, because that's when the Anthem interview was scheduled for.
Yes,
so a whole other thing.
It's a whole other thing. It was very nerve-wracking for us because we suddenly went to like, oh yeah, we're getting the Japanese band. We're using their tour manager Luis as an interpreter. Shout out to Luis Sesto, amazing guy. We'll probably have him in the show eventually to talk about the Japanese heavy metal scene. Look forward to that. That's gonna be awesome. But the Anthem guys were great. Were gracious enough. Like, luckily, we didn't completely butcher this thing. It worked out, but it was the most nerve-wracking thing of the whole weekend.
Yeah,
It's such a small room, and the four of them come, and the tour manager and us, and it's like, yeah, this is gonna be too much. So Kyle just, you step out. That's fine. And then I don't remember for what, but suddenly I felt, oh wait, Kyle can help me with this. And I opened the door and like, Kyle, and he's not there anymore.
Well, I left the backstage area because I didn't want to like get in trouble.
Yeah, the area where you cannot get back in without someone coming to pick you up.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, I can handle it. And I don't even remember what it was, so clearly it was not that important. It wasn't important. That's how it goes. We managed to do that. And we then...
I watched Lame Genie, the next band.
I actually missed Lame Genie because I stayed chatting with Luis. But I did go back to the Airbnb and had Lame Genie on the stream.
Yeah, so I watched it from the side of the thing because I was standing by the area in case he needed my help or like needed to come cry or something. But but the actual Lame Genie show, so they filled the slot of obligatory video game band this year because it literally every time Mad with Power will have that.
It makes sense.
So
it's in the branding.
It's like kind of video game theme. Yeah. So their whole like style of video game themes was they would cover songs mostly from like NES and SNES era video games. Their like stage gimmick though is that each song they will like put up two games. It's like, oh, do you want a Mario song or do you want a Sonic song? And the crowd will like shout or point for what they want. And they claim that it's voted on. I'm guessing it's not really, but shh, we'll just
don't break
on the DL.
Don't break the illusion.
Don't break. No. It's the crowd definitely voted for which songs they wanted, and then they would play that and have like a video of gameplay going. I thought it made for like a fun like bit of crowd interaction between the things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the crowd usually picked good songs. I was happy that they did the DuckTales Moon theme because that's an eternal banger.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like they don't have any vocals for any of this, so like when they vote for like a Sonic song, they're not going to play Live and Learn. They're not that cool.
Not
as for the actual show itself, I thought it was still
missing
pretty fun.
that little extra thing. Yeah, it was weird for us as well. Like we didn't know Lame Genie. We were listening with our friends at the Airbnb, and it was like, is this just this is all instrumental? But then we noticed that they were really popping off with the stream crowd. Like the chat was going crazy. So I guess
cool.
they were really popular. It didn't sound great on the stream though. And this is something that has happened before, and I think it will continue to happen, sadly. It is absolutely amazing that we have a full-on 2-day festival that is live streamed officially for free.
That's the fact that it happens at all.
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
Because it takes a lot of resources to make it happen. They have multiple cameras, and to send the sound, it takes a ton of resources. So it is incredible. I don't want to undermine how amazing it is that this can happen. This is a great time to be alive. It's a reason I could see the previous one last year, because otherwise I'm on the other side of the world. The problem is that we're on that crossover moment. It's still it takes way more resources to actually have it sound as good as you want. The live show sound could be amazing, but for the stream, they are just taking a stereo out of the mixing desk of the venue and just sending that out directly to a stream. This has a couple drawbacks. One of them, there is no crowd sound. There are no crowd microphones. That means that when people are seeing online, they think it feels dead. It feels like the band is just rehearsing somewhere, and that people are not reacting at all because you cannot hear the crowd. You cannot hear them cheer. You cannot hear them sing along at all. So
so it makes you think like, oh, does the crowd hate them? And it's like,
Yeah.
no, the crowd's having a great time.
it creates this bad vibe for the people watching outside. Makes the bands look lesser than they are. And then they are just taking the stereo from the front of house mixer, which is mixing for the sound of the venue, for the PA of the venue, for the acoustics of the venue. That has gigantic speakers. It has gigantic subwoofers. Your computer does not have that. Your headphones don't have any of that. So the mix that you get is completely off. Blame Genie on the stream sounded awful. You could hear they use electronic drums, a lot of triggers and stuff. You would just hear the kick going like that, not the full thing. And then some of the hits were super loud, while the other tracks was lower. It was not great. But sadly, the only way to take that extra step is to have a full-on other sound person with a full-on other mixing desk from another splitter making a dedicated stream mix. And that is a ton of cost on human labor, on gear, having the space. The venue has to be prepared for that. So I don't blame the festival. It's just that little thing that is annoying, that we have this absolutely amazing thing, but we're still on the transition of that. Yeah, it's not feasible to do it full blast. Like remember when we saw Wacken online during the pandemic?
Yeah.
That sounded really great. At least the Blind Guardian show and those shows, they sounded great. But they were done in a specific studio designed for live streaming. So it was all designed for the live stream, so that's why it sounded great. Other festivals that stream, I've seen that they have the same issue. Maybe some of them do have the full-on this and mix or whatever, but that's so much extra cost. So it's just a thing that I want to bring it out because some people might not know why this happens. They might think that My Power is doing something wrong. And it's just that it's so incredibly difficult and much more expensive to actually do it like full proper.
They don't have like Wacken money.
Yeah, you have to understand it. This is going to happen, sadly. And some bands, the bands that are more for the live show, like if a band has one guitar player, one bass player, drummer, vocalist, nothing else, and the guitar player has the pedal board simple there, bum up everything direct, it's probably going to sound great on the stream because the basic mix will already sound great. But when you have a bunch of synths, electronic instruments, keyboards, and more vocalists, and not here, it wasn't the case here, but just to things that are complexity that need a lot of mixing to make them sound good in the room, then that's when the stream will suffer the most. Which is sad, but it's reality right now. That's it. That was my sound tangent. Sorry. Lame Genie, you were probably great. I was listening on the stream, and while my batteries were charging, I took a nap. Sorry. The couch was so comfy. But we were listening all along, and our friends were they were not on the venue, they were on the stream, on the chat, keeping it alive.
Yes, I enjoyed the show in the venue for what it was worth, and the sound wasn't fucked. So
yeah, I assume that in the venue it sounded great, and it makes sense.
Yeah. All right, that brings us to probably one of the most special shows at this festival, and that is Glyph. Re-debuting, they had a brand new singer, and it's like, oh man, this big mystery. Who's the singer gonna be? Is it gonna be Ty? Is it gonna be Fernando? Is it gonna be some guy from the crowd? And then the night before, I started hearing some people say, oh man, wouldn't it be funny if Glyph, for their new singer, or at least just for this show, got Barbara Blackthorne to do it? Just like the ultimate, like, dramatic move. And we're like, nah, that couldn't be it, could it?
Couldn't. It's such out there.
Lo and behold, here we go. Barbara gets announced. I love the way they did the announcement on stage with the tonight we have no captain, tonight we have an empress. And it's like, oh, the people that know, they start freaking out. And it's like, yep, Barbara Blackthorne doing the vocals, hot off of that Helium Prime tour. And I thought she killed it. This was a phenomenal show. The crowd loved it. The guys all have so much energy. And I think just like a very cathartic thing for like the whole like American power metal community to have this like, I'll call it moment of healing, if you will.
Definitely. Like having seen this whole thing play out between the two fest last year and this year, it's wild. And the way this was done, absolutely incredible and perfect.
I think one of the guys said like, oh, I'm a wrestling fan. I want to like do this in like a wrestling style.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I think they succeeded.
Definitely. I think it's the right reference to have for this kind of live show antics. Like this is reality, honestly. This is as real as it gets if you've been following the story of this band, which in a very short time has taken a lot of turns. And hopefully we are at the point where this band also can really grow. Just in case, just to be clear, Barbara was there for this show specifically. There is no confirmation yet on who is the permanent live vocalist for Glyph at the time of recording this episode.
Yeah.
You can get more info on that if you click on the other episode where we are interviewing Glyph right before this set, which is fun.
Although
it's funny to see because everything that we talk about there happened, but also we talk about other stuff that hasn't happened yet.
Barbara did get confirmed to do more live shows with Helium Prime, which is also cool.
It's really cool. I've seen some recordings of the shows, and I knew like she could sing. That's great. Like she can take on all this varied material. Because we know the shows with Helium Prime, they've been playing songs of Helium Prime. And are they doing some Dire Peril songs? They're going to do some eventually.
Probably.
But just from check. Helium Prime, she was taking on songs from the 3 different eras, the 3 different vocalists they had. And she can handle it. And the Glyph show was impeccable. It was honestly such a good performance from everyone. And specifically from Barbara. Really great stuff.
One of my favorite things about Glyph is, so we're 3/4 of the way-ish through this festival. Glyph was the first band to have live keyboards. And not only was it keyboards, it was a keytar. The coolest type of live keyboards.
The absolutely
So big shout
coolest.
out to Jeff for that.
Yes. I love that Jeff actually plays the guitar live. Everyone should do this. I know it can be hard to keep a keyboard person on your band if he's not the main dude, which is
because
the
like
case
just the
here.
songwriter, so it's like he's gonna be there.
Yeah, that we lucked out that he has this band going where he will do this because he plays in other bands. Like he also plays guitar, right?
He's got like 20 other bands.
Yeah, but I mean the active ones that are touring now. But yeah, this is great. And everyone should use a guitar. And not just that, he has like the proper one, the large one. So he's playing with the Roland large one. And it's great because I've seen some people play with the smaller Alesis ones, the ones that have less octaves. And it's not as impactful. You got to go full beans with it.
No, because it's all about like the opulence of it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And just being extra.
You have to be super extra about it. And it's great. And he's playing the cool parts. Obviously, the songs are made for using that. So, absolutely great. Top marks. Great show. Great performance from everyone in the band. The songs we already knew. They're cool. They work. They are obviously designed to be great live. They are like engineered to get into your brain and make you sing along.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a fun show. So, if and when Glyph plays and tours again, go find them. Go to a live show. If the studio stuff doesn't convince you, but it's like there, if you are humming one of the melodies after listening to it, even though you thought you didn't like it, go to the live show. It's gonna be better live than just listening at home. That's my take on them.
Yeah, it's one of those where, like you said, it's designed to be really fun live
Mhm.
because it's catchy, it's energetic. You're meant to sing along. All of that really gets captured when you're there. I was bummed not to see their live show earlier this year, but I knew they had been really successful shows, and so I was like, all right, really looking forward to this one at Mad with Power, and they definitely killed it.
Definitely. What a good show. What a good thing to see.
You know what else killed it?
Yeah.
The dinner break, round 2.
The dinner break, round 2 on the second day. Just like the previous one. Top set list.
Yes, they played all the hits, such as Fresh Air and Food and Sitting Down, and My Buddy Gave Everyone Beer.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song.
That's the favorite one. Yeah, I ran way back again to grab more batteries, change lenses. But I actually had dinner this time. I went to have ramen with our friend Andrew. Had a nice little talk. Yeah, good stuff. But then after the dinner break, we get the
most out there band of the whole festival.
The one that you are never sure if they are going to actually show up. You think it's like maybe it's a prank. Like, how would they actually play here? Wait,
it was Magic Sword.
I am missing. Yeah, I was looking at the list wrong. We have Magic Sword.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's this bit Fernando's doing. I don't get it.
I was on the wrong beat. I did not see most of Magic Sword. We're leaving it in.
Don't cut
Obviously, I'm not cutting anything. I caught the end of Magic Sword only. Sadly.
Yeah, I missed the first little bit because I was taking a slightly extended dinner break, but I caught, I think, most of the show. And so they're like a really synthy band. They're not really metal. Like, they have a guitar, they have drums, but that's not really the point.
That's what you need.
The whole point is it's the vibes, it's the synths, it's the mood. They're on stage, like, it's really dark. They've got an aesthetic that I would call cyber Sith Lords.
Yeah,
with, like, their glowing visors and black capes and stuff. It's, I'm really glad this was right after the dinner break, because it gives you like that, like, digestion. Like, you don't need to be in the pit. You can just kind of chill out and be like, whoa, dude, as you're letting, like, your beer and your whatever, like, get all nice and settled as you prepare for the last 2 sets. And I dug it. I thought this was just a nice little, mix up in the fest. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I saw the start of their set on the stream, the first half, and then during the second half, I made my way back to the venue and got, like, the really end of it. But seeing the masks on the stream, it looks so cool.
Yeah, like they all have, like, a different colored, like, visor, like, light on their dark mask, where it's like this, like, a red, blue, and yellow one, and, like, it works. It really works for their aesthetic. It really works for the vibe. Another really cool thing they do is, so at their merch table, they're selling, like, these, like, crappy, like, little lightsabers for, like, $10 or something, and so you get, like, a light show in the audience from all the people with their own, like, magic sword, so to speak.
Yeah. I saw that from the stream, and it was like, this is perfect. This is so cool.
At the end of the set, when they're doing their I think it's, like, In the Face of Evil. I think that's the name of it. It's like their most famous song from, like, the Thor trailer. They pull out their own, like, fancier version of the magic sword, and fucking every band just have a sword. Like, it's cool. Everyone loves it. And these guys have a light up sword because it's magic, and it's like a synth, like, cool band, like, and it just gets the crowd so happy. Like, this is amazing. More swords. Definitely
more swords. Very nice.
Yeah. So maybe a bold pick from Ty booking them for the festival, but I think it worked. I think it was cool.
I think that happened last year as well, right? There was one band that was, like, completely out there compared to everything else.
They had, like, a metalcore band as opposed to, like, a synth band. But this is a bigger step, I would say.
But people liked it, right? The people that were there for the
Yeah.
band, they seem to be into it.
People
So
really liked it.
that's what matters. And then we get to the band that probably matters.
The worst fucking band, the Nepo Babies of Madison, Wisconsin. Just the rudest, like least Midwest nice people you're ever gonna meet. They're out here eating cold dish. You know, it's disgraceful. They're lactose intolerant. It's god damn. How could they do this to us? It's the lords of the fucking Trident.
Wah, wah. Lords of the Trident, as usual, playing second to headliner. It's like shoulder liner. Yeah, let's call it that.
Shoulder.
This is Comedy Central right now. Perfect. I am so good at this. Lord's show. I was actually there before it started this time. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them. So what? This is I think my 5th Mad with Power, which means it's also my 5th Lords of the Trident show. And yeah, they're entertaining as always. I don't think I need to add too much more to this. They have all their stage gimmicks. Unfortunately, the Sylvie doesn't let them do lighting things on fire.
I think that's perfectly fine.
I talked to Ty about it at Prog Power last year. He said they would need to get like really expensive fire insurance that they like can't afford. So okay, that's fine. They can do more confetti cannons.
The confetti, I think the confetti cannons are plenty enough, and you still have to pay for that because you always need to pay a cleaning fee. So I think it's a perfect substitute. I am perfectly fine with it. But they also have some other props. Like I absolutely love Ty's chainmail glasses. They are.
I don't know why he has them, but sure,
perfect. It's the most heavy metal thing. They are like something that I would assume our friend Dom would have and wear every day.
He might. Well, he's got like 20 pairs of Pit Vipers.
Yeah, but they look great on stage. And also
all the weapons that he just swings around.
The things and the guys, they all have their costumes. They're really great, really well done. They fill up the stage. Their show is very well oiled. Let's say it.
I do wish that the guitarists would I think just put a little more showmanship into it. Obviously Ty is doing a lot.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish they would just run around or interact a bit more. It feels like they're kind of just they got their costumes and they ham it up a little bit, but I could use a bit more from the other guys.
Yeah, they could go a bit more extra, especially the guitarist on. I'm sorry that I don't remember all of your names, guys. I am bad, very bad with names. But Ninja guitarist, you could ham it up more. And then Pyro guitarist, you're doing all right. You can just move more, but you're doing
the Baron. Right. The blonde one on the left is the Baron.
Yes. Yeah, but if you say on the left, nobody knows what you're talking about.
My left. The only left that matters.
Yeah, but no, people don't know. So the Baron, I guess, frilly shirt dude. Pretty good. Could move more. Other guitarist with the mask. You need to ham it up. Come on, bring it in. You got the stuff. You just gotta. It has to come out because you guys are playing already. That's down. Now, go full beans. Go crazy on the stage like Ty does. The drummer as well even though he's sitting down at the drum kit, he has a presence. He's moving around. I love the extra drumsticks on the holder on his back as if they were katanas.
That's a great costume touch. Perfect. Just be like, I got 20 extra sticks sheathed up, ready to go.
Absolutely perfect. Probably come in handy as well.
Yeah, honestly.
Really great.
I love that. Matt from Fellowship came out for a song, which was really fun. It wasn't so fun when his mic wasn't on.
We didn't mention this when we talked about Fellowship because Ty was on Fellowship. Yeah, when Fellowship was playing Glint, Ty came in to sing because if you don't know, Ty recorded a cover of it in his series of Power Converter covers. It was forever ago, but they did it live. They harmonized a couple parts. It was really nice. And for the Lords set, it was the other way around. Matt came in, he had like a giant cleaver to do match props, awesome stuff. Really, really cool. And that was like
Yeah,
at the
I
end
love
of the set.
the camaraderie that happens with like between like the lords and the headliner. It's just it adds to the community vibes to it all, you know.
Yeah, this is great. This is the greatest thing about these festivals, that you get these interactions that might not otherwise happen. When you're going to a gigantic festival, this happens sometimes, but it's not the rule at all. And here I feel with these festivals, the power, Proc Power as well, and other ones that are smaller.
It's the right size.
It's the right size.
The crossovers.
Yeah, where the bands are actually friends already. The ones that aren't, they're showing up and becoming friends for the next one. So it's great to see these interactions, especially these kind of crossovers between international bands. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love what a time to be alive. That's my review for everything nowadays. I love that we get to see all these things happen. And then
Lords is happy to be here.
Lords does this thing. I think the song where Matt was on was like the second to last one. And the last one, they just kept him on, and he was so confused.
Well, because they bring everybody.
They bring
like
everybody.
Whole, like the crew, the bands, anyone working the fest that wants to be there can come on stage for the Sailing the Metal Seas closer that they do.
Yeah.
Which is just so much fun to see, like, 30 people crowding the stage. Maybe they're in costume, maybe they're not. They're just chilling. I think Brad from Fellowship put Ed on his shoulders, and then they tried to switch, and it didn't really work size-wise, but
hilarious.
They tried.
Absolutely hilarious. I love everything. Everyone is so happy. Everyone was having so much fun. And it's great to celebrate not just the guys that are like unnamed, the organizers of the festival, but the actual people that are also all contributing so much and working so hard to make it happen. And I think that's really important and really valuable to just showcase everyone, because it was also all the crew that works with Lords and that helps make all of this happen. Because it's not just the music festival, it's getting the people in, getting accommodations for the bands that come from far, because otherwise it's really, really expensive. Making the extra activities work, convincing the venues, fighting with Ticketmaster, all these things.
Oh God!
And all these people are working towards that, and it's really great that this actually showcase for the audience to see and know about it, know that it's happening. Really great, and obviously, it was a very solid set list from Lords. They have cool stuff. I liked their part of the show. Very nice.
Yeah, this would have been your first live show for them,
yes,
I think.
It was.
You never been to Mount of Power before.
Nope. I never caught them in any other fest I've seen. So very, very nice.
All right, that brings us to the final headliner, which for this one, I'm still in awe that this show happened, that we got to see Anthem.
It's so amazing. And Anthem is a legendary band. If you've never heard this name before, they are considered one of the starters of heavy metal in Japan back like 40 years ago.
Yeah, I saw some people say they're like the Judas Priest of Japan.
Yes.
Which is probably more or less.
That's accurate, right? Yeah. It was them, Loudness, and mostly them and Loudness. If there's probably another one, I don't remember the name now. Sorry. But yeah, they are legendary. I've known them for, I think 10 years ago is when I first heard about it. More than 10 years ago now. But when I was back in the day, when I had an anime covers band, we were playing Animetal style songs. Animetal was a Japanese band that was doing anime covers in a metal style. Big surprise, with Shu from Galnerius on guitar. And the vocalist was Eiso Sakamoto. And he was the vocalist of Anthem for a big chunk of time. So I knew them through there. But Anthem is a band that has more history. They had several lineup changes. The main guy is the bass player. And now we got to see them with a very cool formation. They had a new album recently. And this is like their new push to just like for international people, it's like a comeback. Not so much in Japan. That started some years ago. They were disbanded for a while, but it was a long time ago. And this is their first show in the States in like 37 years, I think they said, which is crazy.
How did Ty do this?
I think the crucial thing is that Ty has his relentless work ethic. I don't know how he functions doing all this stuff. And he speaks Japanese. And he went to Japan.
When he came out on the stage later, and he started speaking Japanese, I'm like, oh, this guy's just showing off now. Come on.
And you have to remember, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but Lords of the Trident toured Japan, I think 2 years ago or last year, maybe 2 years ago. Ty made this video of like the summary of the whole trip with a cover they did of an Anthem song. So I'm pretty sure that the talks with people started way back then on that tour.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that like he got some connections like through that trip, or like that made that trip happen, and like it's all connected.
All connected.
And I think they're going back for another one with Seven
Yes,
Spires.
they're going again with Seven
that
Spires.
Should be sick.
That should be great. I love seeing this. I want to see, obviously, more Japanese bands or Asian bands in general make the crossover to this side of the world. The language barrier is absolutely gigantic. We need to break it. We need to make more cross-pollination. We need to send more people there and bring more people from there. Make sure to get crowds that are big enough to warrant the trip. Justify all this. We need to make this happen more. I hope that...
No, we're working on it. Hey, with Love Bites is starting some shows here next month.
It's great to see that.
Spoilers for later. There's going to be another Japanese band next year at Mad with Power. So
yes.
Like, it's slowly trucking along a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We are getting there. We need to work on that.
But as for the actual Anthem show, though, fucking fantastic.
Incredibly amazing.
These guys riff so hard and yet so clean, so stylish, so cool. Everything is just so on point that you can tell like the difference in performance between like, our cute little, community we've got versus like legendary rock stars with decades of experience, and you're just like, oh shit. These guys are fucking good.
It absolutely puts every other band in perspective. Once the moment they start, the moment the show starts, you're like, what the fuck? This is a real show now. I didn't realize. Right? What were we doing? And this is not to attack all the other bands. No, it's just the difference in experience. I enjoyed
all these other bands.
It's the difference in experience. It's like suddenly we went from like playing with our friends at the club, and then it's like, oh, the NBA is playing now.
Yeah, you go from people compare like college basketball and NBA. I feel like the gap here might be even bigger than that.
Yeah. It was more like Saturday playing at the park versus the NBA. Like, this is so incredible contrast, and this is just how it is. Some bands are this big, and I am amazed that they play there. I am actually, honestly, just a little bit sad, or not sure it's sad or annoyed. The biggest crowd was in the festival for Lords of the Trident. That happens every year. Yeah. They are local folk heroes. Makes sense. But seeing the crowd for Anthem be smaller made me a little sad.
Yeah, I think that happens because, like, one, like them being like a very, very old band, I think a lot of people, one, don't know who they are, and two, like the usual like end of festival headliner problem of people are tired, they've got headaches, their feet are sore, they need to go, And it's like, come on, you gotta stick it out for this legendary show, man.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people, I straight up didn't know Anthem, or just saw them on the wheel and started listening to the music, but they have no prior knowledge of like what it means. Like I knew, like the weight that this show has in general in the historical context. But I know for a lot of people that means
most people don't have
nothing, absolutely zero of that. I understand.
But for the people
it's
who
understandable.
Do,
the people
like,
who do,
I stood in the front of this of the crowd for this, and I was near a couple of friends of mine who were like, they were basically there because Anthem was there, and so getting to like experience the show, like I was really excited to see it, but I'm not like a lifelong fan of Anthem, whereas these guys have been, you know, big fans for like over a decade or whatever. Being able to experience like the joy through them, I think just added like a whole other layer to it.
Yes,
and it's just like every time a song would start up and the riffs are going and they're like, oh shit, it's this song. I'm like, yeah, yes, let's go. I don't have no idea what the fuck this song is, but it's sick. Let's go.
It's sick. Like actually, I also like I didn't know most of the like half of the songs I wasn't that familiar with, because the era of Anthem I'm familiar with is small, and I didn't do the homework.
I listened to the playlist that our friend made, but I'm not like intimately familiar with Anthem the way I am with some of these other bands.
Those riffs, man, you don't need to know jack shit.
Yeah, no,
it hits you, and that's how it should be every time. Like this just works. I know that this is great, and when the moment that you see that the song is getting to the climax and the vocalist starts raising his hand and pointing upwards, and you know it's coming, the and everything, and you're like, yeah, heavy metal.
Yeah,
100%.
This is pure heavy fucking metal is what this show was.
Yeah, and these are like the 4 coolest people on the planet. Like seeing them on the stage, because again, this is a band that they had vocalist, 1 guitar, 1 bass, drums. The stage was full. There was not an inch of empty space. These people are gigantic. They know, not only know what they're doing, they you forget. This is the one band that I'm looking, and I'm not thinking about technicalities. I have no time to put on my producer brain and see what could be better. I am just getting plowed by the heavy metal.
How are these guys just so cool?
It's incredible. Like, they are so cool. Like bass player, straight up heavy metal legend. The shirt, the open buttons with the open buttons, the spikes, the hair, the amazing hair, and just playing, and the face is like you can feel the bass. You can see it through his face.
I don't think I've ever felt bass this crunchy in a show. Maybe, I don't know if I was just standing in the right spot or if it's just the way they do things. But man,
they had that classic sound. It's just so like basic, but in the correct way. It's like the fundamentals properly done. The guitar dude, come on, the hat, the glasses, the cool shirt with the print with the flowers. It's like it makes no sense. It shouldn't work.
It's perfect,
and it's absolutely perfect. Every time he looks up to you, you're like, yeah, metal. Absolutely.
Like, they did like an instrumental song, and just watching this guy, I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
How do you pull this off? We cannot pull this off. We could not. We
didn't deserve this show.
The pants. Right? Did you notice the print on his pants of the guitar player? They are not just black pants. They have a little print. Like it's like what our friend Dom would like to be, likes to do. And this guy just pulls it off so well. And then you have the vocalist, just straight up classic heavy metal, but never a dull moment. Always being there, interacting with the others, bringing the people up. Absolutely amazing. And also,
I appreciated him also even like speaking English.
Yeah, the banter.
Songs.
So we talked about banter before. This guy was like with the usual, I just know these couple of phrases in English. But
Yeah.
perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It's all you needed.
All you
worked.
needed. Filling the gaps properly. Going from song to song properly. Everything was spotless. I absolutely love. So again, and I think this was great to see. Ty joined them for a song.
This was Ty, like, just making
Just
his
leaving-
fan fiction
Yeah.
come true.
This is a fanfic moment. It's amazing to see. Like
It's like,
a lifelong
and then I got
dream.
on stage with my favorite
Yeah.
band, and it was so cool. Except this was real life.
It was
and
real
it actually
life.
happened.
So before, like halfway through the set, Ty was down with the people watching. I went back for a bit to take photos from farther away, and he was just standing there, taking it all in. And then at one point, he's like, okay, I think he knew what song it was, and he just bails out. And it's like, yeah, shit's gonna happen. And man, it was great. And this is hilarious. But the dude thanks him and everything, welcomes him to the stage, and he calls him TY son. And I absolutely lost my shit. It was hilarious. I love it. And I want it to be, I want you, Ty, if you're listening, I want you to change your stage name, your life, your
Is
TY.
TY son?
T to the Y. Please take this chance. Take this as the true calling.
Anthem has called on you to do it.
Oh man, I love it, and it was great to see it. And he interacted with them. As you said before, he speaks Japanese, so he could say some things to the audience and to the band, both in English and Japanese, so to make sure that they understand. And it was absolutely great. Honestly, seeing that, I love it. I absolutely love seeing people fulfill their dreams like that. It was just pure happiness and fun.
So lovely.
And this is what can happen when you really put all that work. It's amazing. Amazing.
It's like, it would have been really funny if there's like, all right, yeah, no more Mad with Power. Yeah, we fucking did it. All right, that's it.
Yeah, like that was the thing. That was the only,
that's what I wanted.
Yeah. Like honestly, I understand that. Like, I think we talked about this in one of our previous travel episodes. Maybe not. Yeah, we did. So when I went with you to California in 2022, and we went to Disneyland, that was actually one of my lifelong dreams. Getting to Disney, either Disneyland or Disney World, whatever. It was one of the things that as a kid I always wanted, but knew that I would not be able to do.
It felt like unattainable.
It was the unattainable dream. And suddenly I did it. And you helped me get there and made it great. And I was
navigated
thinking
the Genie Plus, the horrors of Genie Plus.
We got onto that first ride with Space Mountain, which is the ride that as a little kid I had a little CD that was just ads for Euro Disney. And there was a video of the start of Space Mountain and the way the whole theming, whatever. And actually being able to ride that, it was like, I did it. I've done it. And I actually spent all of that day thinking, what the fuck do I do now? What's life after Disneyland? I don't know.
We went to Japan like 6 months later. So
we went to Japan 6 months later. So clearly you can get new dreams and new stuff.
You can just keep it going.
You can keep going. Life you just gain a new level of life. Now you can think of something else that might be greater, might be smaller. But it's great when those things happen, and it's great to see people experience it. Where I'm really happy of the people that were there just for Anthem in a life, what feels like a once in a lifetime opportunity, because again, it's so rare to have the Japanese bands show up. Like when you saw Galnerius at Prog Power, that felt like crazy.
I mean, it kind of felt like this, where it's just like,
yeah,
how is this happening? This shouldn't happen.
And you have to take those chances. I'm gonna see Baby Metal now in a couple of months because they are coming with Slipknot for the Notfest. The moment that was announced, I was like, yeah, I need to buy those tickets, because when is that going to happen again? Because getting those bands here in Argentina, it's become rarer in the past years and harder. So gotta take this chance. I don't know when it's going to happen again. Or like, I'm going to see Paul McCartney as well, because I really love the dude. I've seen him 3 times now. And it's
wow.
I'll go every time, because I'm not sure if I'm going to get it next time.
Well, yeah, he's really old.
He's really old. So you really got to take these things and go for them. And seeing everyone else there, loving it. Our good friend that was like, just showed up for Anthem. And it was, again, like, when else is it going to happen? Even if we go to Japan, like we did last year, it's so hard to watch a show in Japan as a foreigner. That is that extra level of, it's not even traveling, because it's like, oh, I traveled to the US and I can see these local bands. But when we travel to Japan, if you don't have a local friend that can buy tickets for you, and sometimes in some cases, not even having a local friend is enough, because you still need to transfer the ticket to a special app that you need a Japanese address, Japanese credit card, and Japanese phone number to have. And it's like, I can never see this band again. So this was just all around amazing. Dream fulfilling
really,
show.
Mad with Power this year, following your dreams. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Top marks for this festival. Absolutely amazing. Like, in general, honestly, great. Pretty damn great.
It's the most fun weekend of every year, At least lately, for me, going the last 5 of these festivals, I think I can pretty confidently say that. Is Frog Power is awesome too, and it's its own thing. But I think it's like an overall experience. This is my spot. These are my people.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, there's more bands next year.
There's more bands next year. So there's the usual thing now, I guess. I don't know if Prog Power started it. I don't know if other festivals do this at all. But they do now the little video to announce at least some of the bands for next year's fest.
Mm-hmm.
We have the little list of the ones that are announced. This is not 100% of the bands. There are more bands that will be confirmed over time. You cannot really look in everyone this far in advance. And then some might change, as happens every year with all of these festivals. Because sometimes plans fall through, visa issues with foreigners. You know how it is by now, hopefully. That's the US for you. It makes it really hard.
So Mad with Power 8 next year, they always like theme it after like a different video game. And this next year is going to be Zelda themed. So I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
They were specifically using like the Link's Awakening remake stuff, which is very cute. So yay for it being Zelda themed. And they're kicking off, the first band announced was the Dread Crew of Oddwood. Now this is an interesting one because like they're not like exactly a metal. I think they're called themselves heavy folk.
Yeah.
Because it's like only folk stuff, but like kind of in the style or like energy of heavy metal.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see them. I missed the tour they were on earlier this year. So I'm stoked I'll get another chance here with this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we have Okay Good Night. When I was looking at the video, I couldn't understand that the name was Okay Good Night. I thought it said something different.
The logos are sometimes hard
the logo,
to read. I kind of wish they had like actual text for the band on the announcement video and not just the logo.
Because I thought
sometimes they're hard to read.
I honestly thought the name was Mood Night.
No, it's okay.
But it's Okay Good Night. Anyways, that's silly stuff.
Prog metal band from Boston.
Yeah. Proggy metal. I like the song that was playing on the introduction video. It seemed like cool vibes. I
was looking up the band members because I hadn't really listened to them before. So their vocalist is Casey Lee Williams, who collaborated with Seven Spires on a song, I think a couple albums ago.
Yeah,
and their bassist is Peter DeRena.
Yeah.
The bassist of Seven Spires.
Which makes sense because it was another band that's formed out of Berkeley, the Berkeley College of Music. So they are all music nerds. So that the credentials are there. The pedigree is there.
Nerds are there.
Yeah. And yeah, Casey Lee Williams was on Seven Spire's song Lady Lightbringer. And both of them had, I think, both Casey and Adrienne sang for the Ruby soundtrack. Remember that? The red, blue, white, yellow thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Casey was like did more stuff there. While Adrienne just guested in one or two songs. So yeah, this potentially very, very cool. We need to check them out for real. I haven't listened yet. We are barely back.
Yeah, I checked out one song and I'm like, this is kind of cool. I think this will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Then next up is Oriad, another band that I wasn't sure of the name when I saw the logo, but ORYAD Oriad. So they are a progressive doom opera symphonic, lots of stuff going on with them. I need to do a deeper dive on their music because there's another one that seems interesting.
Yeah. Then we have Beat Brigade, which
Beat Brigade is the obligatory video game band. Let's go, everyone say it.
Yay! But
their unique gimmick is they speed run games live while playing like metal versions of the music.
I think this is the way that all of the bands should be doing it. This is something that I actually thought about doing with my anime band back in the day, just playing live, playing the music to someone playing the games. Of course, at the time, neither of my bandmates or me were talented enough to pull this off, so we never did it. But it's great to see it that we're going to have this because it's potentially a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like live speedrunning stuff because I watch GDQ every year. That's a ton of fun. I've watched a lot of summoning salt videos. We've all done it.
Obviously, right? We've all done it.
But so getting to see this live, I think, will be a really cool thing.
And also, you can say it.
I was going to say, but
you can say it.
I don't know if I'm going to say what you think I'm going to say.
Okay, I'm going to say what I think I was going to say, and then you can see what you were actually going to say.
Okay, what are you going to say?
I was going to say that Beat Brigade has Taylor Washington, the guitarist from the band that we really liked, Paladin, and he's the guitar player for Theocracy currently. We knew, if you're interested, we had him for an interview forever ago. You can check it out. But he told us at the time he was playing karaoke shows and he was playing video game stuff as well. So this makes perfect sense. And I love to see that. I think I love
they called him out on the video too.
They actually called him out on the video. Makes sense for marketing. Makes people happy.
So what I was going to say is that when Beat Brigade came up on the video thing, I'm like, this sounds familiar. Weren't they supposed to play Metal Power before? And I dug through. They were originally supposed to play in 2020 before COVID fucked that up. Like if you can find a Reddit post from 4 years ago, being like, oh yeah, Beat Brigade's gonna be there. So I'm glad that they're finally bringing it back around when that after that canceled COVID show.
Yeah, well, revenge is happening. That's great.
Speaking of revenge, they also said that Lords of the Trident are gonna be playing again.
It can't keep getting away with it.
Ty. I wonder if they're ever gonna not. I mean, they'll always be there. Maybe if they won't play the second to last spot, but I feel like they kind of have to because they bring in so much of like the local people there to buy tickets.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. It's their festival. They put in the work. They can do it.
They are allowed. We'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll let them off easy this time.
Yeah.
Those Lords of the Trident.
Then, what is this band? Because
next up is probably the most interesting band on the bill. We've got Bride here, a metal band from Japan. And I am utterly shocked that they are going to go through the visa process for someone who's not even a headliner.
I think it's worth it because, this makes sense. It's exactly what I want. Bring more Japanese bands. And this is another one of those cool bands. If you check out metal bands from Japan now, not just like power metal or adjacent, like any metal band, they always have this sort of pop infused to them. And they go to great lengths on the looks, the style. and everything. And Brighter is one of those that you can see, yeah, this is a cool band. This is definitely gonna be fun, about a fun show and a cool show. And you check the songs, and yeah, they are always like at that base level of like, this is great. The floor is really high with the Japanese bands. So I think this is great.
Yeah, they're gonna be, I think, the one to watch for next year.
Yeah,
assuming the pieces work
start
out,
getting
please.
familiar with them.
Yeah, I listened to one song. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I need to listen to more. And I had a friend of mine at the festival mention that he's a fan of theirs, and our tastes overlap a lot. So I think that's promising.
That's perfect. And another thing that people were very happy about is that Ether Realm is playing.
Ether Realm's back.
They are back.
The redneck Vikings from hell are coming back. They were, I think, one of the headliners in 2021, and I've seen them live a bunch of times, and it's always super fun. So fuck it. Bring them back. No one's going to be mad about this.
Yeah.
They might even have a new album by next year, hopefully, probably, maybe.
Who knows? Maybe they know. We should ask. Who else? Striker is striking back, I guess. I love that phrase.
It's a good phrase.
It's a good phrase.
Well, they're finally striking in Mad with Power. I know they've been trying to do this for a while, and it finally worked out for them. So I think they put on a really good show. I'm seeing them next month at Prague Power, and I think this will be one that goes over really well for the crowd.
We'll see your review from Prague Power, and then we'll take it from there.
Because it's been years since I've seen them, and that was at like a really small show opening for Unleash the Archers. So I'm curious to see how they've grown since then.
Mm-hmm. The other band that's coming, that's been final one to be announced in this video, was Dream Evil.
One of the headliners.
Dream
Evil
from Sweden.
Now, I have mixed feelings about this.
Most people had them.
Because I really love Dream Evil's first album.
Mm.
I have not bothered to listen to most of their other stuff because everyone tells me it's bad or at least just not great. So, and I'm also seeing Dream Evil. I think they're also playing at Prague Power next month. So I'm getting like a preview of next Mad with Power already.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because we're getting that overlap now. That the next year's fest, a group of bands are in the previous year's different fest.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I like that most of the bands are not the same. Luckily, there's enough bands to keep each festival fresh.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable to have like a couple crossover.
Yeah.
So, and like we've seen that before. I think like with Aether Realm and Unleash the Archers, a couple examples that they played like both festivals like back to back or close to back to back. Seven Spires.
And also, realistically, most people don't go to both or multiple festivals.
Like there is a lot of crossover between the fans, but there's also a lot of people who just don't go to both because it doesn't work out.
It's really
money
expensive.
Or time or whatever. Yeah. Oh, buddy. Yeah.
So it's okay. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And that's what we have for now. We'll know throughout the year who else is adding to the bill, who might drop.
They got one more headliner to announce still.
Who might be replaced.
I'm really pulling for 3 Inches of Blood. That's what I want. I think that's
are they
realistic.
actually playing more stuff after their?
Yes,
they are.
They're playing U.S. shows. They've been doing it. They're doing some other festivals.
Damn, awesome.
I think it's 100% feasible, and it'll be hype as fuck.
Yeah.
To get 3 Inches of Blood. That's what I'm pulling for my like bigger band pick. There's tons of small bands I would love to see.
Mm-hmm.
I keep hoping Perennial Quest will play. They just lost their vocalist, so probably not. But that's kind of my one of my deep cuts. I want Stormhaven to play. It would be so fucking sick. No one knows who the fuck Stormhaven is, but I fucking love those guys.
You gotta pull. You gotta make noise. Make people ask for them. That's what you gotta do.
I shill bands as much as I can.
But
like,
you need to.
I'm one guy.
Yeah, you're one guy. You need to convince other people to shill the same band. So everyone that's listening, remember to do this. Go just annoy Ty with your band picks that you want to see at the show. And the other festivals
annoy
as
Ty
well.
with my band picks. That's
with Kyle's band picks. If you want to, you should. That means you have one more.
Visigoth. That's Visigoth.
Visigoth
Of the like There aren't really any trad bands on the bill this year. Get Visigoth on there, man.
One trad band should be there. Yeah, that
at
makes
least
sense.
one.
Just
bring
one.
Traveler back. We just talked about the new album. It was sick. Bring Traveler back.
Yeah.
Or Adamantis. They were cool.
Okay. Just one.
All right.
Pick one.
All right. I'm done.
Yeah, that's you're making a whole other fest now.
Or for the video game band, get Super Monster Party. They would be really fun.
Okay.
They're video game stuff.
Okay, but they already announced the video game stuff, so you really need to get early for that
for the next year.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Mad with Power.
That is Mad with Power.
That was a hell of a week. It was a week, 5 days. I don't even know.
A blur. Is this like the shortest trip to the U.S. that you've done?
Yes, it feels criminal to do such a long trip for such a small time.
Think about the guys coming from like Japan to play one
but
show.
They are going to play. That's a job. It's not the same. And when you're on tour, it's not the same. Remember that life on tour means you get onto a mode of transportation, you have a shitty meal, you go to the show, you get back into a shitty mode of transportation, maybe catch a bathroom in the way, then show up at another mode of transportation, play another show. You don't really explore. You need to be...
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. That's not the default. It's not the same. But I went there. It was like... It wasn't such a long trip for me. It was 10 hours to Atlanta, waiting there for a couple of 3 hours, and then an hour and a half to Madison.
That's not so bad, right?
Like 15, 16 hours. It was pretty great. And then the way back it was a bit fucked up. We all had issues flying out of Madison. It was really weird. But for me, it meant that I had to run for the first time between two planes to catch my connection.
Okay. You made it though, right?
I made it, but I almost not make it. Like I had to actually run out of the plane and barely made it to the other flight before they closed the door. And it was like, I'm not in shape for doing that. I am not a sprinter. My cardio is negative 50. For takeoff, I had the sick bag on me just in case because I was feeling so agitated.
Jeez.
But after 2 hours, I stabilized. Yeah.
Everyone's travel out of Madison was delayed or canceled. It was so cursed. I was the only one who got no delays.
Yeah, but you left at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, so I went to bed at 3:45, and then I woke up at 4:55.
Damn.
And it's not after a festival.
I can't believe you actually tried to sleep.
I mean, I would have just done nothing for an hour. I took a shower, I packed up, I was ready to go, but I had nothing else to do for an hour, so I'm like, well, might as well sleep. And then, I hopped on the shuttle from the hotel with a random flight crew at 5 a.m. to go to the airport. I felt like a zombie this whole trip as I just drifted between airport terminals and airplanes and a McDonald's at the Dallas airport for my 45-minute layover.
Yeah.
And I was home before noon.
Crazy.
And it worked out.
Crazy.
I was home in bed, and people hadn't even left Madison. Or we're still at the bar.
We had so many.
What is happening right now?
All the flights later were completely screwed up. We don't know exactly what it was. I think it was different things that coincided. There was a storm in the Boston area, I think. So a bunch of planes that were coming to Madison from there were delayed. Some flights were outright canceled, going to other airports, to other areas that had nothing to do with it. Our friends going to the West Coast had problems. Other flights that were there were not leaving. There were multiple planes stuck, taxiing. I was late to my flight, not only because of the delay, because my delay was just 25 minutes. It was the smallest delay of all our friends. But when it landed, we couldn't get into the gate because there was a traffic jam with all the planes taxiing on the ground. And it was it took 40 minutes to get to a gate. The moment we landed, it was okay, I can make it. Notification, your plane is boarding. Fuck. I made it. Luckily, I made it. I didn't want to miss it, not just because there's only one flight every day out of Atlanta to Buenos Aires. So I would have to wait a full day. That was not the issue. The actual issue was that I checked one of the bags, and I don't want to face the craziness of that bag going by on its own to Buenos Aires and then trying to find it somehow.
Was like your camera stuff in there?
No,
or
God,
some
no.
of it, or-
Just my clothes. I don't know.
Okay,
That the stuff goes with me.
fair enough.
Also, it's full of batteries, and you cannot check lithium batteries. So there's no, like, you have to do a special. Don't do any of that. But yeah, made it. I was a bit like you had a shit trouble anyway. It was just according to plan. I wish you had more time because a part of me wanted to do this episode in person, but obviously you were leaving right after the show, so there was no way to make it happen. So, and we just
my other option was to take a flight out at like 11 a.m. and it cost like literally
it was insane
to do that.
It was completely not a choice. I don't know why it was so screwed like with that price.
Because like Madison's like a cursed airport.
Yeah,
and then like
it is.
I also live in the middle of nowhere, so when you go middle of nowhere to middle of nowhere, it's you.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but we had a great time. There was a little after party. Also, after the second day, we stayed for more time this time. I think for till 3
a.m. I think.
Yeah. And again, we had a great time talking with everyone. If you're listening to the show and you were there, we had a great time. I don't remember your name. I'm sorry. I am awful at names. You guys told me I suck at names. I apologize. But I gave you guitar picks, so you know you're special. Also, Dad, if you go to a show that you know Kyle is going to, find him and bother him. Ask him for a guitar pick.
I don't have that many.
You should print more. I'm putting you on the spot. If you come to Argentina, find me. But I know that's harder.
I don't think we have too many Argentinian listeners.
We
beyond,
don't.
Maybe your direct friends and family, if any.
If any. Yeah, but I mean, people travel, right? If I travel, you can travel too. God damn it. Go get a passport. That's
all
it.
Right. Well, we've been rambling for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
I think we should get to wrapping this up. Next episode, it's going to be Prog Power. Spoiler alert. Get ready for that. And then we'll have some new music to talk about.
Yeah. Hopefully. We'll get to that. And hopefully, I hope we do more stuff officially like this because it's fun. Just a lot of work, but it's fun. And that's it.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. And stuff. Patreon, links, Instagram. You know. I know you know. Stay powerful.